So you're volunteering at your church, you're security, maybe you're an usher or greeter, and you look outside one day, one evening or whatever, and you see someone, maybe they're urinating on the building, on the property or something. How do you handle a situation like that without inadvertently saying or doing something that escalates the situation and still be ministry minded? Let's talk about a situation that just recently happened that went bad, but could have been so much worse. Let me set up my camera here. So in late December 2023, a church security volunteer in New York City observed an individual, homeless person, urinating on the property and went out there to make contact with him and ended up getting his neck slashed. Fortunately, he survived. Now, that was the first news article. That's all it said. It came out a couple weeks ago, right? Well, just recently, there was another news article that was a follow-up, and they interviewed the church security volunteer, and he put a little more information into it this time, more detail. Apparently, he acknowledged that he observed an individual urinating on the public, and he went out there to make contact with this individual and advised the individual that they were welcome to use a restroom inside the building, but the individual became loud, rude, antagonistic, confrontational, belligerent, and this time the church security volunteer admitted that he felt threatened, so he punched the homeless person. He punched first. Homeless person walks away. Well, not too long later, the homeless person changed his clothes, and the church security volunteer says that's why he didn't initially recognize him and pick him out. But the homeless person came back, walked right up to the church security guy, pulled out a box cutter and slashed his neck. This whole situation, I totally believe and I'm totally convinced could have absolutely been mitigated and avoided. First of all, I have to ask, would that homeless person have returned had they not been punched in the first place? Now let's talk about some conflict de-escalation and some personal safety tactics, basic concepts and things like that. First of all, I feel compelled to share that in my 20 years as a patrol officer, with as many interactions I had with homeless people and so on, it was actually very rare for a homeless person to exhibit any type of confrontational, angry, assaultive type of attitude and behavior, no matter how drunk, especially when they were very, very drunk. They did it when they sensed that they were being attacked. The vast majority of times, homeless people just want to be left alone. They know that they're doing wrong, urinating in the public and on private property. Most likely, usually, they just want to go away. So, some conflict de-escalation. Ministry mindset. You're working at a church. You're volunteering at a church. Let's not forget that these are also children of God who are just having a rough time, going through a bad time, going through a bad season, and they probably could just use a kind word and maybe an open arms and a welcoming offer of hot coffee to go. So when you see someone who's on your property, okay, and they're urinating and they're doing something that is dirty and just looks bad and so on, fight that urge to become frustrated, impatient, and offended. Because once you allow those emotions to take hold, you're more likely than not going to be the one to say or do something that escalates it. All right, so you see someone out there urinating or doing something, defecating, or doing something that's just inappropriate, not right, and so on. You go out there. Keep in mind that when you go out there to make contact with someone, an unknown person like this, you don't have to get right up into their space. You don't have to be within arm's reach to talk to them. You can talk to them from 20, 30 feet away. Maintain a good, safe reactionary gap. For those of us who are trained, have our concealed carry license, we are all taught about that 21-foot rule. Someone with an edge weapon or any type of weapon in their hand, a brick, a pole, a knife, can be a lethal threat up to and including 21 feet. So why would you close that distance on an unknown with someone who may be potentially armed? Maintain a good reactionary gap, maintain that space, address them from about 20 feet away, soft tone of voice, welcoming tone of voice. Hey, how you doing, sir or ma'am? You can't be doing that right there. You're more than welcome to use the restroom inside the building. And in fact, can I get you a coffee to go? Ministry mindset, ministry minded, and still engaging and making contact with subject and still making sure that you stay safe. Okay, let's say that they do start getting loud and obnoxious and so on. Again, from my own personal experience, normally when you catch them doing something wrong like that, they usually just, F you and they walk away. That's it. However, in this case, the church security volunteer said that he felt threatened. That tells me that he got close enough to this individual for it to go off the rails to the extent that he felt threatened. Again, emphasizing the need to maintain that reactionary gap. So you're about 20 feet away, you're addressing someone, and they get loud, rude, and obnoxious with you. They're calling you names and so on. Okay. Are they actually attacking you, or are they just venting out of frustration and embarrassment and shame that that's where they are in life? Let them vent and do an about face and walk away. You're not going to save them all, rescue them all, or fix them all. You can plant the seed, a ministry-minded seed, offer them some empathy and compassion and a coffee to go or a bottle of water to go. You now just let them know, hey, I see you. You can't be doing that on our property. 9 times out of 10, they're just going to walk away. Very rarely, in my experience, do they get to the point where they feel like they need to assault the homeowner or the property owner or whoever's responsible. So in a situation like that, you acknowledge them. You don't have to get sucked down this rabbit hole of feeling like you have to argue, debate, or anything, or emphasize to them that you're the party responsible and the authority and they need to leave. Let it go. They'll leave. You know they'll leave. Ministry mindset. Take a long, slow, deep breath. Assess the situation. As you're making an approach, you're watching their hands. You're making sure that there's nothing around them that could potentially be used as a weapon. You address them from about 20, 30 feet away. Hey, how you doing, sir, ma'am? You can't be doing that. Come on now. That's just not right. But hey, you're welcome to use the restroom, and can I get you a coffee to go or a bottle of water to go? As a matter of fact, can I get you another? Empathy and compassion. You don't have to get all up close to someone to the point where you suddenly feel that you're threatened. And then you end up saying or doing something that escalates the situation. And in this case, punching the guy. Ministry mindset. We'll see you on the next video.